How many years of maxing out a 401k or TSP does it take to become a millionaire? And people on the FIRE journey like me are always thinking about how they can maximize their retirement contributions every year. And my wife and I are on our Fat FIRE journey. And what that means is that we would like to retire early with at least $100,000 a year in passive income. If you're on the Lean FIRE journey, then you're probably looking to earn anywhere between $40,000 to $50,000 a year. If you're on the traditional FIRE, then you're probably looking to earn anywhere between $50,000 and $90,000 a year in passive income. According to the national study of Millionaires by Ramsey Solutions, 8 out of 10 millionaires invested in their company's 401k plan, and only 30% of those millionaires earn more than $100,000 a year in salary. And according to Fidelity, there are currently 442,000 401k millionaires, up 32% from 334,000 a year prior. There are also about 376,000 IRA millionaires, and I made a separate video about how to become a Roth IRA millionaire, and I will put the link in the description below. If you're brand new to my channel, my name is Sai and welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how long it takes to become a 401k or TSP millionaire by maximizing your retirement contributions and the different types of retirement strategies people use with their retirement accounts to accumulate wealth. The retirement contribution limit for 401k or TSP is $20,500. If you're age 50 or older, you have the option to do the catch-up contribution in the amount of $6,500. Your employer could also offer the option to do the mega backdoor Roth up to $40,500 in addition to the $20,500, but I'm only gonna focus on the personal contribution in this video. Your employer could also give you the option to invest in Roth if they offer it. And if you have the TSP, then the Roth option already comes in your retirement plan. You can do either all $20,500 into your traditional or all $20,500 into your Roth. Or you can split between traditional and Roth as long as you don't exceed the contribution limit. And if you get paid every 2 weeks, your contribution in the amount of $20,500 is divided by 26 weeks, which is roughly about $788 every paycheck. And if you're in the military investing in the TSP, then you're gonna see the total TSP contribution for that month on your LES statement on the first of every month, which would be roughly about $1,708. Keep in mind that your employer match does not count towards your personal contribution. For example, if your employer contributes 5% of your gross income, then you could be contributing $20,500 plus your employer match at, let's say you make $100,000 a year at 5%, then it would be $5,000 every year. And that's a total of $25,500 into your 401k or TSP every calendar year. Just keep in mind that whether you do the Roth or pre-tax option, your employer matches will always go into your traditional portion of the 401k or TSP. So for example, let's say you're contributing $788 from your paycheck into Roth and you're getting $250 from your employer, then that $788 will go into the Roth portion of your retirement and $250 will go into the traditional or pre-tax portion of your retirement. If that still doesn't make sense to you, then you can always contact us by visiting firesidechat.com/coaching and schedule a free 20-minute financial coaching session. So how long does it take to save $1 million in your retirement account? The only variable in your retirement account is the stock market return. You don't have control over how the stock market performs, right? However, the S&P 500 has performed a 12 to 13% average annual return for the past 10 years, despite the market downturn during 2022. So I'm going to give you different scenarios as to how your portfolio can grow depending on the stock market return. So let's say you're 30 years old in the year 2022 and you just started a new job, so the beginning balance is at $0. Your contribution limit for 2022 is $20,500. Chances are that personal contribution will continue to increase over the years, and we'll find out from the IRS usually around September or October. If I had to guess, we could see the personal contribution go up from $20,500 to maybe $21,500 or even $22,000. You see how at age 50, you can contribute an additional $6,500 a year as a catch-up contribution. So in this scenario, I'm going to add $500 on average every year for the annual contribution. The first scenario is the 6% average return. It would take me roughly 22 years to have $1 million in my 401k or TSP. So if I start contributing at age 30, then by age 50, I should have over $1 million in this portfolio. And keep in mind that these numbers could also change if you're close to being 50 years old, because then you're eligible for the catch-up contribution a lot earlier. If I add the employer match, I'm going to be very conservative here and say we'll keep it at $3,000 a year because it depends on the individual's annual salary and the rate of the employer contribution. So you could get to the 7-figure balance a year earlier by age 49 with the employer match. The second scenario is the 8% average return. It would take me about 18 years to have $1 million in my 401k or TSP. So basically, I would get to the 7-figure balance 3 years earlier than the 6% average return. I put the same numbers here with the personal contribution increasing by $500 per year. I kept the employer match the same at $3,000 a year for the duration of the employment. Now, let's take a look at the 10% average return, and that would take me 16 years of maximizing my 401k or TSP contribution to have over $1 million just in this retirement account. And what's really interesting is it will only get to 7 figures 2 years earlier than the one with the 8% average annual return, but it would take me 5 years earlier than the 6% average annual return. So if I take out the employer contribution, then it would take me an extra year to get to the $1 million goal. By the way, you can get our free fire resources, including this spreadsheet, by visiting firesidechat.com/contact. You can also check out the Fireside Chat shop, and I have all of my stuff on my bookshelf at firesidechat.com/shopping. So the performance of the stock market is something we can't control. And what we can control is how much we contribute to our retirement accounts. The 6% return is probably the worst case scenario if the market just goes up and down for the next 20 years. Just keep in mind that 6, 8, or 10% is the overall average return. Let me show you the actual historical returns for the past 20 years. So this spreadsheet has the real data from 2001 to 2022. The 401k and TSP contribution limit back in 2001 was only $10,500, and if I invested in the VFIAX or the Vanguard S&P 500 index fund, I would have been down almost 12% just for the year 2001. Keep in mind that this spreadsheet assumes I did lump sum investing every year at the beginning of the year. If I broke it down by dollar cost averaging bi-weekly, then it would take me a lot longer to go through the spreadsheet. So if you see how the personal contributions continue to increase by either $500 or $1,000 every year or every 3 years, right? In 2005, the contribution limit was $14,000, and then in 2006, it was $15,000. And these returns are based on the VFIAX historical returns or the Vanguard S&P 500 index fund. So 2002 was another down year at negative 22%, but 2003 was in the positive at 28% return. You see, in 2008, we had another down year at a 36% negative return, but in the following years, we had the longest bull market in the history of the stock market. And even if 2002 finishes with a negative 18% return, I would still have over $1.1 million in the 401k or TSP. And I would have hit the $1 million mark at age 49 in 2020 when the market performed an 18% total return. So that would have been a total of 19 years with an 8.69% average annual return. If I quit my job today at age 51 and I leave my 401k or TSP where it is now until I turn 59.5 when I'm eligible to do the withdrawal, with a 6% average return from 2023 to 2031, I would have $1.9 million by the time I turned age 60. And if it's an 8% average return, then I would have $2.25 million. And if it's a 10% average return, I would have $2.65 million. And if I add the employer match at $3,000 a year on average, you see how the number increases to $3.1 million. I understand that many of you started investing in 2020 or when the bull market kicked off in 2009 and 2010. It is devastating to see your portfolio down by 15, 20, or 30%, right? I get it. I'm on the same boat as you. And if you're a long-term investor who experienced the 2008 recession, you're probably not as worried as the newer investors because you have been investing in the market, whether the market is up or down. I am dollar cost averaging my investment, and I don't plan to change the strategy just because the market is down 18% or 28%. And I know the stock market will be worth a lot more 10 or 20 years from now. And what you don't want to miss out on is getting the employer match. And if your employer, like the TSP, offers a 100% match up to your 5% contribution, then you need to take advantage of that, because that's free money that you're leaving on the table that could potentially grow to tens of thousands of dollars in the future. And the employer match does not count towards your personal contribution. If you're investing $20,500 and your employer contributes $5,000, that's a total of $25,500 you're investing into your TSP or 401k. I also did a video on the early withdrawal strategy from 401k or TSP, and I will link that video in the description below. It's basically a 5-year conversion ladder between your employer sponsor accounts like your 401k, TSP 457, or 403b, your traditional IRA, and your Roth IRA. And so if you can withdraw from your 401k or TSP way before you turn 59 and a half, would you consider maximizing your contributions now? And it's probably the best 13-minute video I've ever made, so make sure to check it out in the description below. Just investing in the 401k or TSP may not be enough for early retirement. My wife and I are investing in TSP, Roth IRA, and HSA to achieve Fat Fire at $2.8 million. We also have taxable brokerage accounts to invest in dividend stocks and growth stocks to supplement our income during our early retirement. The Roth IRA contribution limit is $6,000 per person with a $1,000 catch-up contribution if you're 50 or older. The HSA contribution limit is $3,650 per person or $7,300 per household. If you're working on your early retirement, you need to think outside your 401k or TSP and explore other tax-deferred investment accounts like the IRA and HSA. Your savings rate will matter a lot more than the stock market performance over the years. We're not investing 10 or 15% of our income to achieve FIRE. We're investing at least half of our income so we can achieve financial independence while we're still healthy. If you want to know more about how to invest in the Roth IRA or HSA, be sure to check out these 2 videos. So with that said, I appreciate you watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one.